Hi everybody. I'm a minute late. 2 minutes late. Oops. Technical difficulties. But here I am. I am excited to stamp with you guys tonight. It is Wednesday and it's my usual weekly stamping class here on Facebook. I'm just going to get things set up so that I can see comments. Ugh. I don't know, sometimes I wonder about Facebook. I don't think it's always my friend. So I got a notification that I am live. I'm not seeing a video yet. Isn't that funny? Hi, Janet. Okay, so I must be live. There we go. All right, so how is everybody this lovely Wednesday? The sun was out, you guys. Wasn't that incredible? It was so thrilling to see the sun. I seriously think that's probably the first time in 2021 that we've seen the sun here in Sherwood, so I was super excited. Yeah, so I have a few things to show you guys. I was putting away Christmas stuff over the weekend and I realized that I had some cards that I wanted to show, and every time I'd have a class down here I'd forget, I'd leave them upstairs because I have a big board in my kitchen that I made to hang and display all my Christmas cards, and so I wanted to show those to you. So of course, this one I have to show first. This is from my mom. She makes the most beautiful cards. So isn't that pretty? This is red foil paper. It's so beautiful. And she's got that gorgeous dove up there. I love it. So, and then this one is from Janet. She sent us a lovely Christmas card this year. I love that you made it. I know in the past you've sent some beautiful cards as well, but I am forever going to be a fan of that deer. That's like one of my favorite things. So Janet used these stitched label dies, and the snowflake here is in gold foil paper, and so she's got some pearls on there, and I see Wink of Stella in the deer's antlers. So gorgeous card. And then this one was from Lisa Nealand. She is on my team, and I think that she watches every so often, but this, I love that moose. Oh, it's over on this side. And I love it, but I never did purchase it. So if it's gonna be sticking around, I may have to do that. Otherwise, it's just gonna be one of those things that I love and just never did get. But I love how she made the trees with all the different colored papers. So, beautiful card. Hi Lisa, there she is. Thank you for that card. And then I made this for my family. And this was not my idea. I actually saw someone else made this because I saw it on Pinterest. But I made these dove ornaments for my family because we did not see my family for Christmas this year. And we did not see them for Thanksgiving either. And so while I was browsing around on Pinterest one day, I saw this beautiful ornament and I thought, well, how nice would it be for all of us to have this ornament hanging on our trees, you know? And so I made one for my mom and dad, I made one for my brother and his wife and my niece, and then I made one for my sister and my brother-in-law, and then I made one for us as well. So I just think it's gorgeous, just so pretty. And then what else? Oh, I've got winners because I've been slacking on winners. And you guys, I think I'm all caught up with mailing stuff out. In case you don't know, the mail is really slow. And to top it off, we've had mail theft in our county. I had some neighbors a few weeks ago that called the sheriff's department because they witnessed cars in our neighborhood stopping at mailboxes and taking mail. So it's been going on all over in our village and in the surrounding towns, like a good chunk of the county. So I've been kind of not putting mail in my mailbox and just driving it to the post office whenever I go somewhere, which isn't that often. So if there's something you're supposed to get from me, but my craft room is a disaster right now. So, but I think everything's been mailed out. But if there's something I said I was sending to you and you didn't get it, let me know and I'll look into it. So I should be all caught up on everything. But if not, let me know. So winners from last week, this card that I made with that beautiful celebration paper, Lisa, you were the winner of this, and I probably had your address on the envelope, and I probably don't have it anymore. So if you want me to mail you this card, just send me your address in a private message and I'll get that in the mail for you. And then the other card, I picked a winner, and that's Wanda. I don't think she's watching tonight, but maybe she'll watch later. But so she was the winner of this other card. And then I had posted a prize patrol on my page over the weekend, and so I wanted to know which bow to put on this card, and we had a tiebreaker. So both of those lovely ladies are going to win one of the calendars that I made for 2021. And they're just little, they're in a bag right now, but they just fold up and sit on your desk. And it's got a calendar on there for this year. So I'm going to get those out to you guys. Chriselle and Michelle, thank you for playing along, and congrats on winning Prize Patrol. So, the other thing I wanted to show, because I forgot to show this last week, I was showing off celebration papers, and after I cleaned up, I found it at the bottom of a pile of my stuff, but I used some of that celebration paper. I have a whole bunch of these notebooks that I bought from a craft store that used to be in Appleton, and it closed up years ago. And I had stocked up, and this was the last one that I had from them. And it was just a plain notebook with chipboard front and back cover. And so I threw some of that paper on the front, and I tied on all these beautiful coordinating ribbons. And so I've got this little notebook that I use for things. So just another idea of what you can do with all that gorgeous paper. So that being said, I'm going to turn the camera around because I'm going to show you how to make a shaker card tonight. This is something that I learned during our onstage event in November, and my mind was blown because I never do shaker cards because they're so complicated. I struggle, and then I feel like a fool, and now I've made a whole bunch of them, and they're super easy. So I'm going to show you guys how to do it, and it's going to blow your mind. So hang on, I'll flip the camera around. My stand was so loose, I couldn't get it to stay. And now it's super tight. Ugh, just can't win. You know what I mean? So I've got to drop it down a little bit so that you guys can see better. And it is celebration. We're in full swing. You earn a $50, you earn a free item with every $50 order, and that is pretty amazing. I'm just gonna tighten things up a little bit here. I just want to make sure it's straight, so. All right. So yeah, we're in celebration. If you didn't get your mini catalogs, let me know. I know there was someone that I messaged last week that they hadn't gotten theirs, and then I said, let's wait a few more days, and then they showed up. So they're coming, they're just late. But if you don't get it, let me know. I have to move things up a bit so we're on camera. So this is the shaker card that I'm going to make tonight. I'm using that beautiful Forever Greenery Suite, and I'm going to use the Forever Fern bundle with the Forever Fern stamp set, and then these gorgeous dies that go with it. So, and then some of that beautiful paper. I'm actually going to use this pattern tonight, but there's so much beautiful paper in that package. Love it. I'm going to have to buy a couple more packs before that goes away. I have a feeling that it's going to go away because very rarely in all of the years that I've been with Stampin' Up! Have they ever carried one paper over to the next year. And I can think of 2 times that since I've been a demo that they've carried it over, so it's very rare. So I feel like I'm going to need more of that before it goes away. So, all right, let's get started here. I have all the pieces hopefully cut and ready to go. I'm starting with my card base. This is just Jade. This is one of our new in colors, and I didn't use it a whole lot until I really got started with this Forever Greenery paper, and then I was like, oh my god, that's gorgeous. So what I am using tonight is these Flowers for Every Season gems. These are so pretty. So this is what I've been putting in my shaker cards. And I'm almost out, so I don't want to lose even one. And one of our clear envelopes from Stampin' Up! I'm going to show you how easy this is. So I'm going to start by putting my, and I cut this down to, this should be 1/4 of an inch smaller, maybe it's 1/8 of an inch smaller than the card base. I'm just going to double check my measurements to be sure. Hold on. Yes. Okay, so this is cut to 4 by 5 1/4. So that's going to leave just a little bit of room on the around the outside, just like that. So what I do is it's going to go inside a clear envelope, just like that. You want it to be in there nice and tight, like that. So it's pressed up into the corner there real well. And I'm gonna take my gems. I'm just gonna drop those in there. And that's the end of it for me. I use the whole tub. Gonna have to put some on my list for the next order, right? Okay, so after those are in there, I'm gonna fold that over, nice and snug again, and it's gonna be a little bit smaller than where the crease is. You know, when you purchase it, it comes, or maybe I had a card in there, it had a little crease, but I'm gonna make it smaller because I want it to fit snug. And I'm gonna pull that adhesive off, which is hard because I don't have nails on that. Has anybody ever had to cut the nails off one hand but not the other? All of my nails broke on one hand this weekend, but the other is nice and long. So explain that to me. Okay, so that's down. Now I gotta grab my tape. Hang on. So I've just got regular Scotch tape, and I'm gonna glue this side down. I'm not glue, tape it, but I want it to be, again, I'm going to crease it so that it's nice and tight. And hopefully I'm doing this on camera so you guys can see. And I'm gonna use Scotch tape to hold that down. And this is where one thing I learned is don't skimp on adhering. Make sure you adhere nice and tight, because at the end I'll show you the first card I made, and that's where I learned that it's real imperative to make sure things are glued down and stuck down nice and tight. That's what I learned. So, okay, so now there is our shaker. So I'm going to, I had a piece of vellum here and I don't see it anywhere. Okay. I may need to revisit that. All right, so I'm gonna stamp my greeting. This ink pad is really snug. It's a little hard to open, but I'm gonna use To a Friend That Makes Me Smile. And I stamped that in Just Jade, by the way. And then I'm going to use my 2-inch circle punch. I'm going to punch that out. And then I used, I think I already did. Yeah, I did. I used my 2 1/4 circle punch to punch out a piece of Just Jade. And that's going to layer behind there like that. Apparently I had one left over maybe. But the other thing I want to do, I just realized, is I want some splatter in the background. So I've got my stamp with the random splatter on it. And I'm going to stamp off first so it's not too dark. And just add some splatter to that. Like that. All right. So now I cut out this beautiful leaf from the dies that's going to go in the background. There's a little random piece in there. And then I need to cut out another leaf out of vellum because I can't find it. I kind of remember doing it, but I wonder if it just got lost. It's not laying around anywhere. Oh, here it is. I already did it. Okay. So I did, it just got misplaced. So what I'm gonna do now is I have got this checkered ribbon, and this is from one of our combo packs. And I want to say it's called Flowers for Every Season. I'm going to look it up quick. I know it's a trio of ribbon. So I can tell you guys what it's called. Oh, yep, it's called the Flowers for Every Season Ribbon Combo Pack. And it is on page 161, and so you get that checkered ribbon in Just Jade, you get the Whisper White ribbon, and then you get the twine, which is Misty Moonlight and Silver. So that's where this is coming from. That's what I'm using here. And so I'm going to tie this around. I'm just going to tie it around the middle, and it's going to make a knot. And I've got a piece of the scalloped lace. I think it's called scallop lace trim that I just cut, and I'm just going to lay that in there like that. I'm just going to tie it right in there. And sometimes knots can be messy. And sometimes you have to redo them, and sometimes you can just adjust it. So, there. That looks pretty good. So now I'm going to grab my scissors and trim that up. And then this one. These are not my favorite scissors for cutting ribbon. I think that our Stampin' shears cut much better, but they are not with me at the moment. So isn't that pretty? So now what I'm gonna do is glue it all together. So, got my liquid glue, put some of that in here. I want that to be even. And then I'm going to show you, I think before I do anything else, I'm going to glue this onto my base. And so this is kind of one of the lessons I learned where it's really important to make sure you stick things down right. Oh, I love that back side of that paper too. I'm going to have to make another card. Just love this paper. So I'm using my tear and tape because this holds really, really well. And another thing I learned is to get right up to the edge. Like the first time I did it, I kind of put it here or maybe here, and it kept feeling like it was going to come off. So I'd say get real close to the edge so that it feels nice and secure. And then I just go right around the outside. Put that tear and tape on. Like that. So if you're watching tonight, I want to say make sure that you're leaving a comment so that I know you're here, and then you get entered in the drawing, which I'll be doing and announcing the winner next week. And the winner will win this card. So either leave a comment or like this video, or sharing is always appreciated as well. So that's very helpful to me. So now I got tear and tape all the way around there, and I hate peeling this stuff off, but it is a lot easier when you're using your pokey tool, which I called it a pokey tool before Stampin' Up! Actually came up with this. It's called a take your pick tool. But before we had this wonderful, lovely, handy tool, I had like a homemade pokey tool. So sometimes I still call it pokey tool. But this is a take your pick tool, and it is the best $10 I ever spent. So just so you know. So I have got one more strip here to pull off. And then I'm going to stick this down on my card base. And yes, it's very sticky. And yes, you want to make sure that it's straight. I'm going to pull this just a little closer to me so that I can get it straight. Because once it's down, it's down. It's not coming up at all without ripping. So, all right. So there we have that. Now, these are the leafies that I cut with the dies, and I'm going to stick those down with my tape runner. And I'm just going to put a little bit of that adhesive on the back because initially, and I'm using Retired Snail, by the way, because I want to use it up, and I should have gotten out the current, whatever it's called, Stampin' Seal, but I didn't because I just really want to use this up and be done with it. But any adhesive, Stampin' Up! Adhesive is the best, I think, so I am using that to stick these down. Anyway, I was saying the first time that I tried to glue stuff down onto this clear envelope, I used liquid glue and it came right off. So that doesn't work real well. So you want to make sure that's nice and secure. And then I'm going to use dimensionals to stick this down like that. So I'm going to put a few on the back. And again, you know, don't be afraid, because like I said, I feel like, you'll see the first card that I made, I feel like it feels in my hands like it's going to come apart because I don't think I just want it to feel secure. I don't want it to feel like it's coming apart. So, oh, that does not want to come off. All right. So here we go. Just going to put that right there. And made a mess with the glue. That is okay. It's okay to make a mess. I'm going to grab my shears and trim that ribbon because I feel like it just looks a lot better with these awesome scissors. I know that those snips that I used are probably kind of dull, so I think my ribbon would just end up fraying as time goes on anyway, and I don't want that. So here is the shaker card that I made. Again, I got this idea from On Stage in November. I gotta tell you guys that is, I mean, even though it was virtual this year, it was one of the best events I've ever been to, or attended or watched. Been to a lot of Stampin' Up! Events, having started my demonstratorship in 2009. So I've had a lot of opportunities to go to events, and they're always wonderful. I always learn new stuff. But I think the way they did it virtually this year was just absolutely incredible. So if anybody has ever been on the fence about it, about, you know, signing up or purchasing the discount shopper kit just because, you know, you want more connection with other crafters and stuff, I highly recommend it. So I think it's definitely brought a lot of joy to my life. So I'm going to show you a couple of the other shaker cards that I made. So this is the very first one that I made. And again, I learned lessons about adhering properly. It just feels really loose and flimsy, and it's kind of looks like it's peeling apart in the corners. And so it's a pretty card, don't get me wrong, but like I said, I learned after I did it the first time, I learned how to make it better. So, but I used the rectangle, the stitched rectangle frame, I think they're called the stitched rectangle dies to make this frame around the edges, which I really like the look of. And all those gems in there, just so pretty. And I used some of the retired gold glimmer paper just to add a little something to my background. So that's the first card that I made. And then I actually made a couple other that I've already sent out to people. But this one is my favorite. So the base, this one is Garden Green. And then I used Old Olive in the background, and it's the embossed brick, which I love. And then I have some of that beautiful Forever Greenery DSP in there. And I made it a little bit smaller than this one. This one's probably 3x4 instead of the 4x5 1/4. So I made it quite a bit smaller. But I used the gold hoops. I've got some of that, the Forever Gold Specialty DSP. It's full of leaves and fern and vine type laser cutouts. It's just beautiful paper. And then I've got that ribbon combo pack in the back here. I've got some of the gold trim and some of that vanilla. Oh, it's just so pretty. I just love it. I think this one's definitely my favorite. And I had initially made this for someone to send out, and then and then I decided I wanted to keep it, and I made a different one instead. So tell me if that's terrible or not. But anyway, so yeah, so tonight I showed you how to make a shaker card. I hope that you guys will try this and you'll totally love it. So I will not be making any more in the near future because I've used up all my gems and sequins. So that's definitely something I'm going to have to restock up on. And let me know if you have any comments or questions about anything I did tonight. I would love to hear your feedback. I really want to know, you know, how I did, how you like it, anything that helps me provide better content to you guys, you know, that would be awesome to hear back from you. And then lastly, next week, I'm going to be using some new stuff from the spring catalog. Oh, sorry. It's called the January through June mini catalog. That's going to be hard to get used to. But I'm going to show you 2 cards made with the Simply Succulents. Gosh, that's hard to say. The Simply Succulents bundle. So we've got this gorgeous stamp set and a bunch of dies. And I'm going to show you 2 cards using this stuff. So I hope you'll tune in next week. I had a lot of fun tonight with the shaker card, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too. So that's all I have. Have a great night, and I hope you'll join me next week, Wednesday at 6 p.m. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.